Hey folks, welcome to my studio. Well, actually it's my kitchen table, but today it's my studio. I'm gonna go ahead and paint something. Today's picture is gonna be painted from here. I have no idea what I'm gonna lay down, but I'm just gonna let the art flow. So stay tuned and we'll do a painting and I will share another story, a chapter from my grandfather's memoirs. Welcome back. I'm your host, Jerry Hanson. For those of you who don't know me, and those of you who do know me, I am an artist. I do have paintings that I sit down once in a while, I paint something, and yeah, some of my paintings have hung in galleries. They've got pieces sold and hanging all over the world. But today's painting is going to be watercolor. At this point in the game, I have no idea what I'm going to paint, but today's painting is just going to flow from my soul and see what comes out on paper. This is watercolor, and while I'm painting, I'll go ahead and share another story from my grandfather's memoirs from his youth. So, let's get started.
This is the autobiography of Cecil Gerald Reed, co-written by Gerald A. Hanson and edited by Gerald A. Hanson. Beginnings. Chapter 1. I was born March 8th, 1906 at Anoka in Boyd County, Nebraska. My parents were Clinton and Anna Walker. My father ran a barber shop in Anoka for a short time. At the age of 15 months, my parents filed on a homestead in Lyman County, South Dakota. The homestead consisted of 160 acres of raw prairie land. The law required that applicants build and establish homes on said 1/4 section of land and remain for 1 year, at which time they would be issued a warrant of ownership from the federal government and could sell or dispose of said property at their own discretion. My parents moved onto the homestead after the house, barn, and chicken coop were built in the latter part of May 1907. My father had no way of earning money on the homestead. The only saleable commodity he had was hay. And as he had to prepare he and his family for a hard, cold winter, he had to do some tall hustling. A few miles from our house was a big cattle ranch owned by a man by the name of Joe Thorne. He ran several thousand head of cattle. The cattle were branded J.O. The Thorne Ranch was located on the Bad River. Mr. Thorne had his own ranch, and he leased grazing land and hay from the homesteaders. My father and his brother Claude, who was also homesteading about a mile from us, took the job of putting up hay for Mr. Thorne. He paid them $1.50 per ton, stacked near his place, to be handy for winter feeding. My father and Uncle Claude cut, hauled, stacked 1,000 tons of hay for Mr. Thorne. Then he told them if they wanted to use his haying outfit further, they could sell the hay to the railroad crews 12 miles from Thorne's ranch, which meant they had to haul 14 to 16 miles. They had 5 100-ton stacks put up, and while someone was still cutting and stacking hay, the other would haul hay to the head of the railroad. They hauled 2 tons of hay to a load which they pulled with 4 head of horses, and if they pushed, they could make the return trip in 10 to 12 hours. As I recall, the railroad paid them $3 per ton delivered at first, and later brought up the price to $5 per ton. End of chapter 1.
Well, that concludes this painting and the story of this chapter on my grandfather's life, straight from his memoirs. Gotta admit, this isn't my best, but this is just free hand ad-lib with no really inspiration. But I felt like painting tonight. Please stay tuned to more videos. You can do that by subscribing and clicking that bell icon that alerts you to new videos as I upload them. Please share my videos on your social media platforms. That helps our channel by introducing us to your audience. I want to thank you guys, and don't forget to leave a comment. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.